Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting news over here because it does seem to go and show that YouTubers are getting sick of these awful video games and they literally want to go and start making their own games out there. We have a really big publication over here and a big announcement from one of the biggest gameplay reviewers / he's kind of satirical, but not really, depending on the video itself, for Videogamedunkey, who I've actually been watching for probably years at this point up on YouTube, and as well quite other little bits and pieces of brand new games that are apparently coming out too as well, with some DLC, some brand new remakes and all that stuff too. So we got a lot of good stuff to go and talk about, and also kind of nifty things too as well. And if any of you guys are brand new, if you guys want to give your thoughts and comments on this video itself, would love to hear it, especially on the fact of content creators like Twitch streamers, YouTubers, and all of that on making their own content. Because there actually was and is a little bit of a backlash too, where developers are getting disappointed and they're not necessarily feeling that, I guess for lack of a better term, respected in the industry. I just want to go talk about this because I think the announcement's cool, I think the idea's cool, and I also want to just, well, talk about it. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well. The brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below, Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Target links down below, and let's dive into this kind of big announcement over here from Dunkey and other various things. So, very first and foremost, if you guys don't know, Dunkey's been a pretty, I almost want to say, influential person when it comes to the video game industry, where he's been doing reviews. He started off with League of Legends, he did a bunch of random various games throughout the years, and it's kind of weird because he has both a satirical style, so basically he'll just be like making jokes and making a fun review, and sometimes it's like an actual proper series of like, this game is actually awful, don't buy this game, or this game is actually one of the best games I've ever played, play this game. So it kind of just depends on the video you're watching and the style and all of that, but with this, we actually have the most recent announcement over here from Dunkey discussing that he's now making his own brand new publishing label. So think a game like, let's say, like Devolver Digital or other various games, even like Square Enix has done this too, where you essentially can go and find good games, or really good indie games, be like, hey, we'll give you $50,000, we'll give you $100,000, give us a cut on sales, we own a little bit of the game, or we'll give you $1 million, let's just own the game, kind of how maybe sometimes Game Pass is done with their licensing rights, or as well be like, hey, your game's awesome, let me go make a review on my YouTube channel, tweet it out, put it on my Twitch stream, whatever, I have a lot of viewers that like video games, and let's go make us all some money. So basically, we have the official announcement that came out not too long ago, and I'm going to play it out for you guys too, and this is on Dunkey's basically brand new publishing company.
Back in 2015, me and Leah went to our first ever PAX convention. Back then, the Seattle one was called PAX Prime, and we had so much fun.
I got the good old
wandering
knack.
through this massive hedge maze of indie games. It felt like opening a door into a whole new world of games. 2 weeks later, I quit making League of Legends videos and shifted my focus to better video games. Games that inspired me to make better videos. Today, I got a big announcement for you. Me and Leah have been hard at work for a while now, getting all this set up, and now we're finally ready to tell you about it. Introducing my new indie game publishing company, Big Mode.
So as you guys can go and see just off the announcement itself, with Dunkey, he is now officially want to go into the publishing side and basically try his best to go and make out and find out better good games out there in the entire world with him and his wife. So he goes and states, I am sick of sitting on the sidelines waiting for great games to appear, the YouTuber said. Now I want to get in there and actually help it go and happen. Of course, though, that seems like a good idea, and someone like me who's played a lot of games on Twitch, YouTube, throughout my entire life, I think I have a pretty good sense of if a game's good, how long it's going to last, how long the longevity for it is, etc., at least for most common gamers. But the big thing is that people were actually calling him out on this and saying this isn't as easy as it looks. So basically, Gastro is far and away the most dominant YouTuber when it comes to game reviews, with polished videos featuring a mix of running gags and unvarnished opinions consistently garnering millions of views. He now says he wants to take years of his taste-making and funnel it towards helping new indie projects stand out of the current sea of mediocrity. As examples of what he's looking for, he cites some of the best-selling and most critically acclaimed indie games in the recent years like Enter the Gungeon, Celeste, and Hades. So basically from out here, he's just trying to find actually good games before they become, well, too big, or someone else goes and kind of swoops on in. So I think it's cool. I like the idea of YouTubers getting involved, and it is like not necessarily the same level, but it's on the same street, you know, so I can kind of respect it. So what exactly is he going to have you do with he's publishing that stuff? He doesn't go into specifics, but he claims that the contracts will be the most developer-friendly out there, won't limit creative freedom. He's not trying to have creative control over your games, but they want to be involved, and have obviously too as well, if the games go good and everything else, everyone should make a lot of money. And they also even say it's not uncommon for big video game personalities to collaborate on individual games games or even have ones made as part of an overall promotion of their brand. They had comedy gaming channel Game Grumps. I also made their dad dating simi game too as well, and I'm sure maybe you guys have known Dr. Disrespect, as well as also been working on his own big game with his Midnight Society, which has actually turned out to look kind of cool, kind of nifty so far. Although, though, we now seen developers and these people who actually work in the game industry kind of calling him out, where he goes and says, hey man, I respect Dunkey for trying to start a publishing business and wish him and his partner the best, but for sake, lads, it's 2022. We gotta drop the naive shtick that having opinions on games is a qualification for understanding just about anything about development. And we've had a lot of other similar takes, like this tweet alone is called like 16,000 favorites. I mean, that's pretty big in the whole Twitter sphere. We saw a lot of other developers chime on in. People are saying, like, he's underplaying the game industry. He's saying that he has no expertise and saying that the game development side is, like, really harder as well. And I'm kind of on the somewhat disagree side. But, of course, I'm biased. I'm coming from, like, a YouTube and Twitch perspective. You can kind of tell if a game has potential. And as well, you can also kind of see if a game's going to get sales or not. Like, you can give me the most golden game, but if it has a lame story, bad voice acting, bad animations, or whatever it may be, and a not passionate developer group behind it, you can kind of tell it's not going to do well. But sometimes you have like these golden just games that you see in the beginning, you love maybe their art style they do, maybe you love the story, maybe you love the concept. Or as well, maybe the game is mostly done, but they're maybe not. Maybe they're really good at coding, but they're really bad at, say, animation. And they don't have any money because they're an indie studio. You give them $100,000 to hire on an animator, and then they go and animate for 2 years or so, and then they get this, because maybe the game's gonna be awesome. Maybe the game turns out great. And I do kind of feel like if you're someone who's a reviewer, and a lot of people do actually, you put a lot of time and actual effort into your reviews, I can see a lot of folks out there kind of respecting that, and that also I think does correlate with a good game. I also think a lot of gaming too, as well as on marketing, and if you're someone with like 7 million subs on YouTube, if you support a game, you like a game, you review a game, it definitely will get a lot more attention. So at least, and also publishers don't necessarily even need to go and know how to make a game, and on top of that, you could also just hire someone. Like if you're someone who has 7 million YouTube subs, you're making okay money, you could probably pay someone a full-time salary to scour through games, talk with developers, get some information, all that, and kind of go from there. So at the end of the day, I don't see the problem, although I do agree, like, it's not the same as game development, though, and I do agree with that take. I just kind of feel like you could literally just hire a game developer to help run it, or hire, like, a project manager, or hire someone else to make it at the end of the day. And also, more so, just maybe sometimes funding is all you need. So basically, it says, for gamers that actually play and care about games, my channel is where they come to find out what's actually worth playing. And I want all of the real deal gamers out there to just know that I would never risk the legitimacy of my channel to push some awful video game I don't believe into as well, which I think is really cool to see. So give me your thoughts. Do you guys think it's bad, good, or ugly for YouTubers and Twitch streamers to start getting into the publishing game? I think it's kind of cool. The critique is kind of on the lighter side. It's not bad. It's more so maybe critique them after like a year or so of doing it and go from there, but intriguing nonetheless. And as well, I've also had some intriguing news too as well, where we have a few other games. Number one, Atlas is actually now apparently developing a Persona 3 remake. Rumor coming out over here. Now, as you guys know, Persona 5, Persona 5 Royale, and all the other Persona games are pretty high up there on the content side. So, apparently a nice little insider too as well, Atlas is developing a remake of a Persona 3 with a similar scope of that of Persona 5 got from a graphic point of view. So, a little bit more on the updated graphic style. And in all honesty, I've never played Persona 3 because I think it was only available on like PSP or something like that back in the day, PS Vita. So, very intriguing to see this, where a lot of folks are like, yeah, they're actually making a Persona 3 remake. And now, as you guys know, for all the weebs out there, this will be great to see on top of this on current gen, and as well, it's just kind of cool to see more games coming out. We also do have some also big things too that it does seem like the GTA 5 source code was actually stolen. This was a pretty big rumor when it first came out. So I think a lot of folks now are pretty much assuming that with all this big issue with the FBI and other various things, potential delays and everything with Uber, and the fact that this is maybe a 16-year-old kid who had all this information, it does seem like this GTA 5 source code has been leaked, which has not been fun to see. And as well, apparently Resident Evil Village DLC starring Chris Redfield was apparently canned now for more of a story for Rose Winters. So very intriguing to see that we had some of these initial leaks coming out that they kind of said, who cares? And they want to go make a brand new different story and try to go change up the DLC a little bit more. Now, I'm actually really excited for Resident Evil Village because I haven't played a good scary game in a while. Like, it really wasn't that scary, but I'm just in the mood for some good gameplay out there. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaways. All the Amazon links down below, the Target links down below. Give me your thoughts and comments as well for all the other videos too as well. Love you guys.